Hey,
Hey
there we are.
guys, how's it going? Happy Wednesday, happy immigration Q&A. I'm Radlin Mendoza, and this is my law partner and husband, John Gardner. We come to you every week with weekly updates as well as answering your questions, your immigration questions every week. We have a law firm here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. It is called Gardner and Mendoza. We're immigration attorneys, and we're here for you guys every single week. So we hope that you have some great questions for us. And we've got a couple of updates
That's right.
this week. We missed last week because we were traveling, but here we are back again. So happy to be here, and hope you guys are happy to be here too.
Yeah, how's everyone doing out there tonight? Hopefully you're doing well. Yeah, we're going to talk about a brief legislative update with what's going on with immigration. Unfortunately, not much, but there's some hope. We're going to talk about our immigration inspirational story of the week. We always like to do that, and Radlin's going to talk a little bit about that. Of course, we are going to answer your questions, but I do have to let you know that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not technically legal advice, but we do encourage you. Get your immigration questions, get them posted, and we will get to them. And also, if you see me looking to the side all the time, that's because we also are live with our TikTok family. Welcome everybody joining us.
How's it going,
TikTok.
guys? How's it going? Good to see you.
And we're going to be taking questions from TikTok as well. So I'll be monitoring those, scrolling through them, trying to field what we can. We do encourage you to bring your questions through Facebook. That's the better place for us to tackle them. It's easier for us to see them, and we can also post them up for other people to read. So that is what we prefer. But if TikTok is your only option, get them posted in TikTok, and we'll get to them, hopefully.
Yeah, and if you guys want to come to our Facebook, it's Gardner Mendoza Law, our Facebook handle. So y'all can come on this live right now and put your question in the comments. We don't have any questions so far. We take these first, and we like to try to get to all of them.
Yes, that's
Everybody
right.
tries to get to all of them, right? That's kind of goes without saying. All right, so let's see here. Why don't you go ahead and just give a quick update?
Yeah, so here's
non-update
here's
of
the
immigration.
Non-update. For those of you who've been tuning in every week, I talk about this. I'm monitoring it. We're always looking for immigration reform. We're always monitoring to see what's going on with immigration reform. And there's been a lot talked about in terms of TPS and DACA and farm workers. There was a huge immigration bill that was proposed many months ago that clearly, it was pretty clear that it wasn't going to go anywhere on its own. But what's been happening lately is that there's talk about, if you've been following the news, you may see that there are infrastructure bills that have been going through the House and the Senate. Specifically, there is a $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill that survived some procedural votes in the Senate. And so now it will go forward. It's not a law yet. It's not even a bill yet. It's a reconciliation bill, which means it now has to go through the reconciliation process. Assuming it can even come out of the House, it would become a law at that point. I bring all this up because one of the things that is attached to this reconciliation infrastructure bill are some immigration reforms. And so that is the vehicle that may provide some immigration hope for some new laws coming in the future. We'll keep our fingers crossed. I'll keep you posted. I'm not super optimistic about these things sometimes because reconciliation is a budget. It's a spending bill. And when it comes through that way, the infrastructure bill is a spending bill, and reconciliation has to do with spending. And it's not entirely clear that the Senate parliamentarian will rule that the immigration reforms that are attached count as spending in an infrastructure bill. So it's a clever way to try to hitch it to this infrastructure bill, but it's super up in the air whether it will even survive and how much of it will survive, if any. So I'll keep you posted, but it's some hope. It's better than just sitting in the Senate graveyard like so many bills end up doing. All right. So keep you posted.
Yeah, thanks for that. John is always reporting on this. He's definitely on top of it. And if anything happens, we will let you guys know in our weekly live or on our Facebook post or on TikTok. So
yeah, the attempt is definitely going to be there. I mean, there's no question about that part of it. It is, they are going to try to attach these immigration reforms to this infrastructure reconciliation bill. The question is whether they'll survive, not just the vote, get enough votes, but I'm talking about specifically whether it'll even survive the ruling of the parliamentarian in the Senate. Okay, because it has to directly do with spending.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna do something really quickly here and try to share this. So just bear with me. It's a beautiful day in Virginia Beach, guys. It was so hot today. It was crazy. But we live by the beach, can't complain. I don't know if anyone saw the sunrise this morning. I think Miss Leslie Lee perhaps saw the sunrise. We got a few comments here. I'm gonna just share this real quick.
Yeah, we've got some comments already coming in, and we've got some TikTok questions that are already starting to roll in here. So,
yeah. So thanks for your patience. Oh, wait a minute. What did I do? Okay, guys, before we get started on that, the questions, I just kind of want to talk about the Olympics. The Olympics. John and I didn't watch too many of the Olympic Games, but we know a lot of people who do watch the Olympic Games and really enjoy them. And if you take a look at some of our U.S. Olympians, many of them are foreign born. So I was reading this article, and it basically said that at least 34 of the Team USA Olympians were not born in the United States, but made their home in the United States and proudly represented the United States. So those stories are really, really interesting to me, especially there was one wrestler, and he actually wrestled for his country a few years ago, and then became a U.S. citizen, and then wrestled for the United States. He joined the Army. So I love these stories where these immigrants are. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine that? Like you wrestled for your country where you were born, then came to the United States, joined the military, and he was part of the Army's elite athlete team, and wrestled in the Olympics for the United States. So those are really, really cool stories and very, very inspirational. Of course, you guys know about those who won the gold medals and the bronze medals, but these are just people competing. And just because you won a gold or a bronze or a silver, that's amazing. That obviously an amazing accomplishment. But even more interesting to me is just the people who who are not from here and still compete for the United States. I think that's really, really awesome and really a testament to.
It's cool to think about.
Yeah, a testament to the United States. And
you're born somewhere else, you become a U.S. citizen, and then you are, carrying an American flag, representing the United States in the Olympics.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If that doesn't inspire you, if that's not an inspiring immigration story, then you might need a cup of coffee.
Okay. Then we'll find another one next week.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That might be more inspiring. But our hats off to all of the Team USA Olympians and all the Olympians who competed in the world. I mean, that's pretty intense competition.
Those of you who were born here, good job too.
But anyhow, yeah.
Okay.
We got a bunch of questions. We got a bunch of questions here. I'm gonna pull these up here. On Facebook, Miss Lee, she's got a question. She's worried. Filed the N-400 back in May 2020. Still waiting for the interview. I'm starting to panic. LOL. Even with an attorney, I feel anxious. That's understandable. I mean, that's been over a year, right? Over a year of waiting for the N-400 to come to the interview. I mean, we totally understand that you are nervous about this. And Ms. Lee, I would follow the guidance of your attorney. We've certainly had cases that have languished, that have gone longer than normal for whatever reason, and it just happens sometimes. Sorry to say, but especially with the pandemic, we don't know what happened to some of these cases. We don't know what happened to your case. Did your case fall through the cracks? Possibly, but does that mean it's not going to get back on track? No, that's not what that means. It just means that something happened. A lot of stuff happened during the global pandemic. Some of my green card cases, they were filed in October of 2020. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for biometrics. I mean, it's the backlog is unreal, guys. The backlog. And we just had a meeting with our field office director. It was a WebEx meeting for attorneys and for people in the community who are interested in knowing what's going on in our field office in Norfolk. But I mean, it's just they went from 50. I don't know the exact numbers. I wrote them down in the notes. We're going to report back on this in another live, but they went to half of their staff, their officers. They're down to, one supervisor. And it really slows things down. So there are also issues with, and again, I know this is not your problem. It's not my problem. It's their problem. Like, come on, try to fix it. It's just a reality. And it's just that people need special assistance. Some of the officers, they call out, they've got children that are sick. They can't send their kids, so there's just a lot going on. And Miss Lee, you just got to be patient. Don't feel anxious. I know it's a long time, and that's a long time. And I have not even checked processing times. I mean, could it be even outside of processing? Well, actually, no. Outside of processing times, I believe is because I asked a question about this, maybe 18 months. So you're probably still within processing times. And here's the thing about processing times, guys, on USCIS website. Unfortunately, if you are not outside of processing times, we can't really do anything about it. And the processing time range for an N400 in Norfolk, I believe, is like 8.5 months to 18 months. And if you're not past that 18 months, nobody's that concerned about it except you and your attorney. USCIS is not that concerned about it because like, hey, we're still in our processing time. So that's just the reality of processing times. I'm
Right.
sorry to report. And Miss Lee, I feel you. I feel your pain. Trust me, we've got a lot of people waiting in the wings, not just for N400s, for 45s, of course, for interviews abroad. Don't even get me started on that. So hang in there. Just come hang out with us every Wednesday night. We'll try to give you positivity and just motivation to stay patient. All right. Should we take this? Let me see here. Oh, we're getting a lot of great questions.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me just put this up here. Yep. You can read that for us.
Yes. Hello, attorney.
That way, when you're reading it, I can also read it. And
yeah. Hope all is well. Question. How soon can you apply for U.S. citizenship if you're married to a U.S. citizen? Is it if you are married for 3 years or 3-year anniversary of acquiring your green card?
Really great question from Lay. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I'm assuming that Lay has a 2-year green card, and maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe, yeah. Well, let's just say. Let me just say that the rule is that you can apply for U.S. citizenship early if you are married and living with your U.S. citizen spouse for 3 years. Okay. If you didn't get, if you're not, then it's 5 years, but it's 3 years. 3 years from the date on your green card, your first green card. Maybe it's a 2-year, maybe it was a 10-year. I don't know in this specific situation. So not to make anything more confusing, but add on the other rule. It's not really a rule, but it's you can also apply 90 days early. Okay, so it says, hey, you got to be married and living with your spouse for 3 years, but you can apply at 2 years and 9 months. So we actually apply for our clients at the 2-year and 9-month mark from the time that they got their green card, whether it's the 2-year green card or the 10-year green card. Hopefully that answers your question, Lee. If it did not, Lay, let us know. We'll jump back on it.
All right. Let's grab one from TikTok real quick here.
Okay, before we do that, I just want to say
thank
you. I got it, guys. Shout out to
yes.
TikTok fam and a lot of the folks on our TikTok. They are Filipino. I just want to say to my Filipino, all the followers on TikTok, thank you guys so much. 10,000 followers. Was it last week? 10,000 followers last week. I did we're going to do like a little raffle for the followers on TikTok. Right. I mean, I was just blown away. It was so exciting to reach 10K. And then the same week we got up to 2,000. We got 2,000 more followers. So guys, thank you so much. That's awesome. And we get so much, I'm doing these 1-minute videos. You never know how they're going to pop off, as the TikTok people like to say, but you guys seem to like the videos. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. And this is our giving back. We're giving back to you guys, and hopefully we can answer some of your questions and help you move forward with your case. All right. So thank you.
So this TikToker is from Florida, but born and raised in the Philippines, just moved here in 2019.
Okay.
Has a 10-year green card, wants to know, can I petition for my girlfriend?
You cannot petition for your girlfriend as a green card holder. You have to get married first. So
she has a TikTok on this, by the way.
I do have a TikTok on this. I just did one on this. This question is like my most popular TikTok, guys, is who can green card holders petition? So it's like 7 seconds long, most popular with like 140,000 views. And here are those who lawful permanent residents can petition. They can petition for their spouse, and they can petition for any and all unmarried children. And that is it. That is it. So they can petition for an unmarried child that's 45 years old. They can petition for an unmarried child that's 7, and they can petition for their spouse. So this gentleman, you're going to have to go and get married, go back home and get married to your girlfriend if you want to petition for her as a green card holder. So that's a lot of people do that, right? Because they get petitioned for by their parents as the unmarried son or daughter of a lawful permanent resident, or they could even be a U.S. citizen, but unmarried. It's faster. And then, of course, you've got the girlfriend or the boyfriend or, the significant other back home, and you just got to come in, and then you got to go back out. You got to get married real quick and then come back in and then file that I-130 petition, and your spouse will be here before you know it. So that's my tip.
All right. We can tackle this real quick because it's related. Let's say I have a green card and I'm petitioning for my spouse. You said I can do that, right?
Yep.
While I'm in the process of petitioning for my spouse, can I also simultaneously be applying for my own citizenship?
Yes. Yes, you can.
All right.
That's the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
So there's for those who are petitioning for their spouse, and then you have a child as well back home, a minor child. That's when, we'd have to kind of determine whether you should do that, because when you file the I-130 petition for your spouse, and there's no mention of a child here, so this may not apply, but when you file an I-130 petition for a spouse as a lawful permanent resident, then the children under 21 are going to go under that spouse's I-130 petition. You do not have to file a separate I-130 petition for that child. Now, if you become a U.S. citizen, then you will have to file a separate I-130 petition for the child. So if you're in the process, it just depends on where you are in the process. So, but anyway, to answer the question, yes, you can file for U.S. citizenship.
Right. There you have it.
And I recommend it.
You heard it here.
Heard it here. All right. Let's see here. This is a really long question, but you look at that. I'm going to take a look at this.
All right. Let's see here.
There's like
Yes.
there's just a lot of quiet here because
Yeah,
this is a
sorry,
really
guys.
long question.
Sorry, guys. We've got some longer questions that we're going to digest. While you're looking at that, I will go ahead and say hello to my Aunt Jill, who's joining us from South Florida, who loves our inspirational stories about the Olympics. She probably has been watching some of it. Hi, Jill.
Hi, Jill. Hi, Frank. Yeah, we do love to see our family members on here.
Yeah, absolutely. There are some of our best fans.
Is my mom here tonight? My mom lives in Quezon City in Manila in the Philippines, and she's coming to visit soon. So
Yes.
I'm very excited. I haven't seen my mom in 3 years. Has it been 3? Is it 4? I mean, it's like 3, 4. Like, you lose track. But super, super excited. So if any of my mom's friends are watching, she's coming. So you'll be seeing me and her together in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
All right. Let's see here. This one's so long, it's going to cover up our face, but who cares? We don't care. All right. Good evening. Inquiring for my mom's petition for my brother. I'm trying to get this here. Here's a summary of that. You read that.
Here's a summary of their case. Petition filed with a priority date September 30th, 2013 for the beneficiary. F2, over 21 years old, unmarried son petitioner, was then a permanent resident. Petitioner got naturalized in May 2015 and the beneficiary got married in August 2014. Per email from NBC received June 25th of 2021, the F2 visa is now current and available. Here's my question. Is the beneficiary still eligible for the F2 visa? If not, can the F2 visa?
Yeah. So
possible? I can't.
That was a really long question. I'm going to hide it real quick. The gist of the question is was it the son? Yeah. The son was petitioned as an unmarried son of a lawful permanent resident. Okay. You got to be unmarried. And from these facts here, he got married before mom became a U.S. citizen. So unfortunately, we can no longer use the F2B visa petition. So I'm sorry to say that. Yeah, that's a lot of years lost. But y'all are gonna have to file again. If you guys, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Like, I hate, as you guys can see, I hate answering this question because it's tough. I mean, it's tough, but that's the deal. All right. Good evening, Miss Lovely. Thank you for saying hello.
Okay, and here's somebody on TikTok that entered with a tourist visa. They then extended their stay. And then they fell in love and got married to a U.S. citizen, and they want to know if they can fix it got cut off, but I think
sorry. Can you start over? I was reading another comment.
Yeah, they entered with a tourist visa.
Yeah.
And then they extended their stay. And then after they'd extended their stay, they got married to a U.S. citizen. And now they want to stay long-term.
Yeah.
Can they do that? And without getting into a lot of details, you're going to need to call us.
Yeah, right. So yeah, generally speaking, a person who is here on a tourist visa, who then subsequently later on gets married to a U.S. citizen, and they can do adjustment of status. Generally speaking, there are some things to look out for. Timing of filing that. When you filed your B1, B2 extension, what did you say? Did you make any misrepresentation as to why you were asking for the extension? I mean, I'm just throwing some things out there.
Yeah.
In no way am I saying that this happened to your case, but these are some things to kind of look out for. So as we say, wherever you guys are, okay, we're here to help you. We're here to give this information as sort of a, what do they call it? a diving point. What's the
Starting point?
Starting point. Yeah. I was looking for more of a athletic.
Yeah, because of the Olympics.
Kind of
yeah.
Anyway, a starting point. And if something here it's ringing to you and you're like, I better get that. You probably should. Like if it's something that you think, okay, maybe this is going to be an issue for me, speak to an immigration attorney. You can call us if you want. We represent people in all 50 states, or if you want somebody closer to you, that's totally fine as well. But go and talk to an immigration attorney just so you know the way moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you have to use an immigration lawyer for your whole case if you don't want to, but it's worth the consultation fee to just get, for someone to lay the groundwork.
It really is. Here's the thing with it, this is so important to you, this immigration piece of your life, and timing matters, and how you go about it matters, and missteps can be really, really fatal. And so it's worth it just to find out what your options are so that you know what you can do and can't do, and you don't inadvertently step into a trap or a pitfall that's something that would be obvious to avoid if you knew what you were doing. So I think it's one of the best investments, and I'm not just saying that because we're immigration lawyers, but it really is an important thing in your life. So it's worth the cost of talking to a lawyer. And like Radlin said, it doesn't have to be us. If you have some immigration lawyer in your area that you would prefer to see, that's fine. If you want to talk to us, that's great too. And we can do that no matter where you are. Even if you're in another country, we have clients all over the world, and you don't have to come to our physical office. All right.
Yep. Nobody comes to our physical office except those who work there.
That's right.
Unless you're dropping something off.
That's right.
All right. So this is an interesting question from Miss Lovely here. Is it safe to download TikTok if you have a family member that works in the U.S. government, especially the Department of Justice? I know this question is out of the topic, but I'm just curious because one of family, my sister-in-law's son, told us not to download TikTok. As I like to say all the time, I don't know everything, and I do not know the answer to this question, whether it's safe to download TikTok. Is there some sort of a ban on TikTok in the Department of Justice? I have no clue. Do you know?
I do not.
I don't know why there would be, but
how about somebody applying for citizenship and lost their Philippines passport? Do they need to get a new passport?
No.
All right. Well, she does know the answer to that one.
Let me get this one. Let
Mary.
me get this one here. This is a good one.
Did you hear that, Mary? The answer is no. You do
No,
not need
you
to
don't.
get a new passport.
You don't. And there also, this question comes up a lot on TikTok. And the cool thing about TikTok is that I get to see like all the questions that people have at a much larger scale. Like we have a couple of thousand followers on Facebook. But it's not, the interaction is a little bit different because, the people are asking questions on the videos. Our Facebook posts are more informational, and not a lot of people are asking like, oh, okay,
Right.
What are these questions? So we get to see like a lot of the questions that people have, frequently asked questions. And one of the questions that comes up a lot is a little bit in relation to that question is, my green card is expired. Do I need to renew it before filing for U.S. citizenship? And my answer is no, you don't have to renew that green card before filing for U.S. citizenship, so long as you don't need the green card for anything. Like if you don't need it for work, like you don't need to re-verify it with work. If you don't need it to renew your driver's license, if you don't need it to enter back into the United States if you travel outside the United States to come back in with your green card, then to apply for citizenship, you do not need the green card. Now, I put this up and a lot of people are like, yes, you need it. Yes, you need it. Yes, you need it. They take it from you, when you swear in. That's true. If you have a green card, then they will take it from you when you swear in. If you don't have a green card, then they'll make you sign something that says, yeah, I lost it or it got stolen or whatever. So I still stand by that. You do not need a green card in order to apply for U.S. citizenship. I'm sorry, a green card that is current. And if you've lost it, you still don't need it. Yeah, I'm just trying to save you guys money.
And here's a question that came in: if I'll make it more general so that if you have petitioned for family members, you're a U.S. citizen. If you want to become a dual citizen of a country that allows dual citizenship, will that harm your pending petition for that family member?
No.
All right.
It will not.
So I hope that answers your question. That was pretty clear, Andy. I think you should
yeah,
with that.
I'm trying to just not belabor the question, right?
No, I love it. I love it.
One of the things that I do was such a bad habit, and you don't do it as badly as I do it, but I'll go on and on. Like the answer is no. That's all you gotta say is no. Try to be brief as an attorney. That is a hard skill to learn. Let me put this question up here. Roxy asked, if my brother comes here on a tourist visa and then decides while here to open a business and hire American personnel, can he switch to a work visa or get a work permit somehow? So Roxy, not sure where you are from, where your brother is from, but he may be eligible to get an E2 visa, which is an investor visa. And if he can show that he's investing a substantial amount in business, then he may be able to do that. But some countries are eligible for that and some countries are not. For example, India. If you're from India, E2 visa is not available for you. If you are from the Philippines, then it is. There's a whole list of countries. If you want to check it out, you can just Google E-2 countries, E2 countries. Yep. All right.
All right. And Lovely says, that's great to know, Poe, about dual citizenship will not affect any petition. I'm glad you asked that question, Mary, because maybe a lot of people were wondering the same thing. They want to do dual citizenship. Oh, now I'm doing it. Adding unnecessarily.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So this is a question here. It's a good question. Martha says, if somebody has a TPS, they ask for parole to go to their country and immigration approves, is it safe to go and come back, or is it a little risky? So if you have advanced parole, then the whole point of having advanced parole is for you to be allowed back into the United States after leaving if you're on TPS. So is it risky? I mean, we're conservative. But no, I mean, we have a lot of clients who go out on advanced parole and come back in. I mean, they don't have a problem. Sometimes something pops up though, right? Like if you're inadmissible, like maybe there's something that they missed, like you've committed a crime, or then there could be an issue, there could be a problem. But generally speaking, if you otherwise are admissible into the United States, it should not be a problem.
All right, let's see here. And we've got somebody on TikTok here who I guess was advised that somebody had aged out, and they want to know, what does that mean?
So when you age out, okay, typically what it means is that the person has reached the age over age 21. And so they can no longer be included as a derivative beneficiary of a petition. So what you have is, say your sibling petitions for you, and you've got children. These sibling petitions take a really long time. And if the Child Status Protection Act does not apply to you, if your children are over the age of 21 when it's time for that immigrant visa to become available, then they have aged out. So that's what that means.
All right.
And cannot immigrate with the parent.
Yep. Okay. Do you want to take one there? Because these ones just keep coming.
Yes, lots of questions. All right, let's see. So this is from Doc. He received his 797 change of status. Should I file the I-131 permission to travel, though I don't have plan of going out of the United States while waiting for my interview. Why didn't you file it with the 485? Okay, but you didn't. That's not the question. If you guys are filing your change of status, your I-45, go ahead and file the I-131 with the I-45 if this is what you're talking about, Doc, because it's included in the filing fee. So yeah, you can file it now, but I mean, if you don't need it, then I always say file it. I was going to say, if you don't need it, then don't file. But you know what? I always say file it because you never know whether you're going to need it or not. You never know if there's going to be an emergency, or we were just talking about emergency advance parole. So the I-131, guys, is it's for you to be able to come back into the United States while your application for adjustment of status is pending. So we were just talking about emergency advance paroles. I mean, things happen. So yeah, why not go ahead and file it?
Yeah, and just a reminder, if you want to reach out to us, you can at info@gmlaw.net. Okay.
Yeah, info@gmlaw.net. And if you guys don't want to put your question here in the comments or on TikTok, then you can direct message us or send us an email, info@gmlaw.net. And look, it's Edison is here with us today.
Hey,
Edison is our buddy from the Philippines.
How are you?
He loves Indian food. Great to see you. Great to see you. My mom is coming. So excited.
He loves waiting in the parking lot outside Farm Fresh for like an hour waiting.
What were we waiting? What were we doing?
Pouring rain.
What were we doing? Why were we?
I think we're waiting for your mother.
That's awesome. So Edison, my mom is coming. So can you actually make sure that she gets on the airplane so she actually comes? Please. It's good to see you, Edison.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
Edison.
thanks for joining. All right. Let's see here. I have a question here from Miss Corazon. Hello, how are you? It's so great to see you. I love seeing you on Facebook, and thanks for coming to our live stream. So husband and I want to ask if I can petition one of my children. They are married when I'm already a citizen in the US. So you have to wait until you are a US citizen to petition for a married child, Miss Corazon. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. See, I almost said some more stuff, but I will say that. I will say this. I will say this. And I don't know if this applies here because I don't remember when Miss Corazon and her husband got married. But if you and your spouse get married prior to your children turning the age of 18, then your U.S. citizen spouse can petition those children as if they were this U.S. citizen spouse's biological children. So that's an important point. See, aren't you glad that I went and said that? But I don't think that applies here, if my memory serves me correctly. But thank you so much, Mrs. Adelberger, for coming on to our live stream. It's really good to see you.
And we've had some questions coming in here that can be cleared up with, why don't you tell us one more time, because it'll tackle some of these questions.
Yeah.
If you're a permanent resident with a green card, who can you petition for?
If you are a lawful permanent resident, and that is a green card holder.
And this is a common question.
You can petition for your spouse, and you can petition for any and all unmarried children.
Okay.
So if you know the visa bulletin, you know that unmarried child under the age of 21 is in a much faster category than the unmarried, what USCIS considers to be son or daughter over the age of 21. But just to make it easy, I just say, look, green card holders can petition for their spouse and all of their unmarried children. You cannot petition for the
question we're getting a lot of folks that have green cards want to know if they can petition for their girlfriends and boyfriends, and that's what I want to make sure that we
so
here.
and I just want to kind of be clear, because sometimes when people are asking questions, we don't know really what the what is the intent? Are you planning on going back home to go get married? Because if you are, then you can file that petition. And I have clients do that all the time, all the time. I mean, the reality is that these petitions, they take so long that, you know, your sons and daughters have to move on with their lives, right? They have significant others, maybe they even have children. But the sad thing is they have to remain single in order to be in this category.
Mm-hmm.
So what you have is just all these relationships with or without children, some many with children. And then you're like, oh shoot, what do I gotta do? What am I gonna do about my girlfriend or boyfriend left back home, right? So you enter in on your immigrant visa. Then as soon as you can, go back home, get married, and then file that I-130 petition for your spouse. So you can only file if you're a green card holder for your girlfriend or boyfriend if you marry them first and they become your spouse.
That's right.
So
Okay.
just to be clear, and that is a question that comes up. It's like, okay, Attorney Mendoza, you said spouse and you said unmarried children as a green card holder. Can I petition for my parents? No. Can I petition for my siblings? No. Can I petition for my nieces or nephews? No one can petition for their nieces or nephews, not even U.S. citizens. So anyway,
Right.
yeah. So just those two groups.
Okay, I see Paul's got a long question there. Do you want to tackle that one, or you want to take a shorter one from TikTok here real quick?
Let's just tackle. Let's tackle Paul because Paul's here. I mean, his comments right here, and I like showing half my face, right? So let's go. Actually, it's all my full face. All right, go ahead.
See, I can be over there. I filed I-130 for my father, who's in the Philippines, back in December 2020. And I just filed the I-130 for my husband, who's here in the U.S. last month. Is there any way that I can go ahead and request for expedited process for both of these applications, petitions at the same time? And how would we know the service center who's handling our cases? Any information would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah,
Thank you in advance.
Lot of great question. So expedited process really depends on what the reason is for expediting. So it really has to be extreme circumstances to ask for that expedited request. December of 2020, that was pretty recent. You can see that you can take a look at your I-130 petition and see the service center. It should be at the very bottom of your I-130 petition, and you can take a look at it there. For your husband, I'm interested in that question. Just filed the I-130 for husband, and husband is here in the United States. So generally speaking, right? And this person, I'm presuming, is a U.S. citizen because why? Because they're petitioning for their father, right? You can't petition for your father if you're a lawful permanent resident. This person is a U.S. citizen. So this person's spouse is here. Paul just mentions filing an I-130 and nothing else. If spouse is here, let's say on a tourist visa or, you know, whatever the case may be, you know, the I-130 should be filed with the green card application. And it's a one-step process. And again, I don't know if this is a process that Paul is going down, right? I have no idea. Like maybe file the I-130 petition for the husband and husband's planning on going back. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. But if the husband is here on a tourist visa and the desire for this couple, this married couple, is to not be separated, not be apart, then the general rule is that, yeah, you can file the I-130, the green card application, file it all here in the United States where the person does not have to. Okay, they filed concurrently. He has filed it concurrently. So unfortunately, you know, unless you have some really, 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 really compelling reasons as to why you need that expedited, they're just not going to do it. There are some really, really terrible statistics about the backlog. I thought the backlog was 500,000 just for the U.S. Embassy in Manila. No, it's for all of the U.S. embassies. It is now 600,000, the backlog for interviews, and so that's just going to get worse. You know, so again, Paul, if you have a compelling reason, then potentially you would be able to request for expedite. Sorry for rambling on. I didn't know that you filed the green card application concurrently, but now everybody else knows too. So
That's right.
all good. Okay, so this is a good question. What's the next step after the biometric appointment for green card and employment permit from Carlos? The next step is, if you're doing it through spouse, is an interview. You have an interview at your local immigration office. Here it's in Norfolk. Hope that answered your question. If you're under 21 and a parent filed for you, sometimes there's not an interview. So, but if it's through marriage, there's 100% going to be an interview.
Okay, Death here. I don't know if we might need some more information, but he wants to know if he is in the process of changing his visa status, and he wants to know if he's able to enroll in school or work while this process is taking place. But there's no more information about what kind of visa it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the middle of changing it, then no, you can't typically do those things while you're in the middle of changing it.
No work, no school, death until it's done. All right.
Right. Now, if you get the work permit, of course, that is considered done. If you get the green card application receipt, then you can look into enrolling into school. Wouldn't do it before that then, though.
All right. A lot of these questions are dealing with timing. I don't know if you want to tackle timing questions like, hey, I filed something, how long?
Yeah, timing.
Because, we don't really, it's difficult to answer those questions.
Yeah, because we have to look it up. We have to. So I will tell you guys how to look up timing and processing times. So if you've already filed and you know where the service center is, you can just Google USCIS processing times. And I actually have a TikTok on this. Mm-hmm. And you just have to put in the form number. Let's say it's an I-130 that you're inquiring about. And then the service center where it is. And then you'll have to pick who's the I-130 for. Like is it for a sibling? It's going to be different. The timing is going to be different for a sibling as compared to if you filed it for a spouse or a child under 21. So just Google USCIS processing times. Is very, very easy, very, very self-explanatory to get the current processing times.
All right. That should answer your question, Shayu. All right. And then
I'm getting questions here if we have any others. So guys, while we're looking for questions, we're looking up questions. I do want to give a quick update with the green card application, the I-485. The I-485 is going to now have a section where I-485 applicants can just straight away file for the Social Security card without having to go to the Social Security Administration, which is huge. It's awesome. So that's coming down the pike soon, which is very, very, very much welcome.
How about if I've lost my green card, can I still go to the biometric appointment? It's for my removal of conditions.
Lost a green card? The 2-year green card?
Yes.
Yeah, you can still go to your biometric appointment. You just need to bring some sort of identification, like an ID, like a driver's license. If you need proof of your green card, then you can get a passport stamp or an I-551 card by making an InfoPass appointment. So.
All right. And Michael here wants to know, if you meet someone overseas and you want to apply for a Fianc Visa, should you get a lawyer? The answer to that is yes. You should definitely get a lawyer.
Yeah, you should get a lawyer.
Okay.
The Fianc Visa is a multi-step process.
Yeah, we're not just, I know we're just sound like we're joking, but you really should get a lawyer for that process. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. It's just, I think that if you Google Fianc Visa and you see like, oh, we can do your Fianc Visa for $295. They're really talking about a very, very small portion of that process. And I don't even know, I'm just making up numbers, but There is the preparation of the petition, which is the I-129F, and all the supporting documents that go along with that. Then once that I-129F is approved by USCIS, it goes over to National Visa Center for a little bit. It takes now about 2 months to transfer that over to the National Visa Center. There you have to pay the NVC fees and also complete the State Department Form DS-160 for where your fiance has to complete that. And then once that's done, then you have to, your fiance then has to go get the medical, schedule the interview, appear for the interview. Awesome. Gets the fiance visa, enters the United States on a fiance visa. And then once you get to the United States, you have to get married. And then you have to file the green card application along with the affidavit of support and the work permit application and the advance parole document. So your now spouse is ready to go, can work, can travel abroad. And then that's another whole, 18-month process usually in getting that green card in that final step. So one of the things to consider is, should I get married or should I do the fiance visa? Priority right now with the 600,000 backlog is for the spouses of U.S. citizens. So, these are things to consider, just something to think about. But yeah, you should get a lawyer.
Yeah. I mean, this
wherever
is,
you are, get one.
This is the love of your life. I would want to get it right the first time.
Yeah. And let me just talk a little bit about fiance visas right now. They're tough, guys. We have cases that were filed pre-pandemic. They're still pending. Got a lot of frustrated clients. I really, really feel for them. Some of our relationships have not lasted through this because of the stress and all that goes on. And it's terrible. It's a terrible situation because of the pandemic, because the fiance visa was really the fastest route to get that person onto United States soil, right? Like they wanted to be together. That's the biggest reason why people pursue the fiance visa, because it's the fastest thing that will allow them to come and be together. It's not the fastest process in all, but it is the fastest for people to be together. And that's what most of our clients want. They just they don't care. Like, okay, this is you actually recommend something else, but I just want him or her to be here. And it's tough right now because they're just stuck. The fiance visas are stuck right now. And, everybody should just know that that's the reality of them. And they're not the fast route that they used to be with the backlog. Click to the moon.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
This is an interesting question here. My partner has a tourist visa and wants to propose. Can he come to the U.S. just to propose, but not have us get married?
All right. So yeah, you can come to the United States to propose to your U.S. citizen future spouse. And if you are asked what the purpose of your trip is, and that's the only reason you're coming here, then of course you need to be like, hey, I'm here to come see my significant other. And you don't really have to say, and I'm going to propose. But if that information does come out, you're probably not going to be allowed into the United States. Maybe, I don't know. Your fiance needs to, fiance to be needs to talk a really good game, right? Like, look, I'm coming in to propose. Here's the ring. I'm not planning on staying here because I've got this awesome job back home.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my apartment. Here's the lease. It's till da 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 da. I'm not staying here. That's not what the plan is. We're planning on getting married in a couple of years. So
I wouldn't do
it. Like you can do that. If a lot of questions are asked, there's a risk that the person is not going to be allowed into the United States and, have to go back, turn right around and go back. And why is that? The reason is because you propose, or he proposes, and then y'all are like, let me go call an immigration lawyer and see. I mean, let's see what the process is. An immigration lawyer like me is like, oh, okay, well, we can just do adjustment of status. It's going to be a lot faster. I mean, you didn't have the intent to get married, and you just came here to propose. I mean, it's so that's the reason why you cannot use a tourist visa in order to get married and do adjustment of status. Obviously, that's not what you guys are doing, but it's what CBP thinks that you are going to do.
You're in muddy water there, because the tourist visa is to come here and be a tourist.
Yeah.
And when you add this layer of coming to also propose but not get married and go back, like Radlin said, then it's a question of how believable is that?
Yeah.
And you're taking a risk that maybe is a bad one. Okay.
Or not. I mean, we're a risk taker. It's tough. It's like a difficult, it can be risky. So.
Okay. Did you want to, you addressed this, whether you needed if you lost a green card and you're going to the biometric appointment, right? You said you could use some other form of ID.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yep.
So Jillian, I don't know if you heard that, because it seems like there were a lot of follow-up questions. Is it still possible? Can I use my
use your passport?
Can I use a driver's license?
Yeah.
Yes, you can use your driver's license instead of the green card, since it's lost.
And you may want to think about getting a stamp, making an info pass appointment and getting a stamp in your passport, or getting an I-551 temporary card to show proof of your lawful permanent resident status. All right, got another question here from Jane. For the fourth preference petition on other family members, what are the requirements from the petitioner? I'm wondering if I can petition my brother, married with kids. I'm a naturalized citizen. How long does the petition take? So we can talk about siblings again, sibling petitions. It takes a long time. Jane, I don't know where Jane is from. I think Jane from the Philippines, maybe, or did she mention that earlier?
I don't think so.
Okay. We'll just assume you're from the Philippines. Philippines is taking 19 years. Jane probably fell out of her chair knowing that to petition her brother from the Philippines is taking 19 years as a naturalized U.S. citizen petitioning for the sibling. Yes, it is taking a really long time. Yes, she's from the Philippines. Not as long as Mexico. Now, Philippines used to be the longest. It's now Mexico at 22 years. So, if this is the only way that brother can come to the United States and be here, then I say go ahead and file that I-130 petition, because believe it or not, 20 years will come and go. If you look at my TikTok about this, there are a lot of comments like, yep, waited 23 years. We're here now. This happened to my family. Glad they filed it, because it's the only way the only opportunity they may have to come and immigrate to the United States. So again, that's a big bummer for a lot of people to hear that, but we just have to tell what's up. It is the reality. Right. But go ahead and file it. I'm not trying to discourage you in any way. In fact, if you hear us talk every week, we're like, file the petition, because it will eventually get to your number. All right.
So we have one question here that I want to get to on TikTok. She said, I petitioned my daughter as a green card holder, and she was 19, but now she's 22 and waiting for an interview. Is there still hope? Not to wait for 10 years to grant a visa. I'm a worried mommy here.
So what's the...
That's all the info we have. Petitioned my daughter as a green card holder. She was 19, but now she's 22 and waiting for an interview.
Currently? Okay, so she's waiting. Everything is done. She's waiting for an interview. Just really depends on whether that visa is available. And I don't know when that was filed, but if she's waiting for an interview, then the Child Status Protection Act might help her keep her age below 21, so she stays in that faster category, which is the F2A category. So yeah, I totally understand that. I get the worried mom. It's tough. It's tough. We're parents of 3 daughters, and it's hard to see, to kind of like to hear all the stories, knowing that, we're fortunate enough to have our kids here, kids with us. They've always been with us, and I can't imagine being separated from them. Yeah. So stay the course. We completely understand in a way, because we've heard these stories before.
Yes, many times.
But hang in there.
And I love Jane's attitude here. She says, my mom had to wait for 20 years, so 19 seems not bad at all.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's immigration humor for you.
I love that. I love that. So Jane, I will really quickly tell the story about my aunt who got left behind in the Philippines. She's the last sibling. And, my dad immigrated in the mid 60s, and a lot of his, most of his siblings are here. All of them came here except one sibling. That sibling was married at the time. And, maybe my grandma was a lawful permanent resident, so couldn't petition for her, whatever it was. I tried to talk to my dad about it. He didn't know what happened, but it's been what, 1964? How many years is that?
That's what?
Is it 4? It's
35 plus 21. So we're at 56. 56
years? Oh yeah. Okay. So 56 years. I mean, we could have filed 2.5 petitions and she'd be here. 56 years passed. Anyway.
Well, 57 if it was 1964.
Right.
Bad.
All right.
Okay.
Last question here.
Yeah, we're up on an hour here. And so we're going to have to wrap it up. We're going to take this last question from Simply Rachel, and then we're going to sign out of here. Okay.
It's been before we take this last question, it's been an amazing live stream as always. And we want to remind you guys, if you need some additional help or you want to consult with us, you can send us an email at info@gmlaw.net. You can call or text our office. The number is 757-464-9224. You can send us a direct message on Facebook. You can do it on TikTok. It's hard. I've got a lot. We are really, really super amazing at getting to our messages on Facebook. I'm struggling with getting to them all on TikTok. I have to be honest. And I think I said this the last time too. Yeah. So we need to put some resources there. I just really, really protective about my TikTok account. And I don't ever want to share any credentials with anyone just because it's kind of scary. Like I worked really hard to get to that. And I would hate for something to happen to the account. So those are the ways that you can reach us, guys. If you want more information, if you'd like to have a consultation with us, we do charge for a consultation, but I think it'll be worth your while if you need some assistance.
Yeah, and I want to remind those of you on TikTok that we do this every Wednesday at 8:00. And as you can see, the Facebook questions we always field. So you may want to try that avenue if you want to make sure that your question gets answered.
Yeah, okay. We answer every single question in these comments, unless we somehow miss. But it's Gardner Mendoza Law on Facebook, and please like and follow our page. We would love to have you guys here every week. Now, next week is what? What's the date next week?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Today's this 11th. Okay, so 18th. So we will be here on the 18th. Mm-hmm. We will probably not be here on the 25th because we are dropping our oldest daughter off to college.
It's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be all right.
Why did I even mention that on Facebook Live on live stream?
Okay.
Hasn't hit us yet, but every day the sadness is trickling out that our oldest daughter is going to college. Yeah, in Vermont, 11 hours from us. All right, last question. Simply Rachel. I love that name, Simply Rachel. Simply Rachel is from YouTube. Yeah. Hello, Simply Rachel from YouTube. What supporting papers for the I-130 petition for my 18-year-old son? All right, so for the I-130 petition, okay, the I-130 petition is filed with the USCIS. And for a child, parent needs to submit proof that child is your child. It's typically going to be the birth certificate, right? With mom's name on it, with Simply Rachel's name on it, on the child's birth certificate. I'm not going to get into if your name is not on the birth certificate, but it in fact is your child. I'm not going to get into that, but that can also still be worked out. So birth certificate typically, and then also proof of your lawful permanent residence, which is your green card, or your U.S. citizenship, which is your certificate of naturalization, or your U.S. birth certificate if you're born here. Well, yeah, or your U.S. passport. So, all right.
All right.
Thank you guys so much. It's been awesome, and it's great to be back. We were also out of town last week, and we
have
love
a great
coming
rest
here.
of the week, everyone, and we will see you next Wednesday, 8:00. Bring your questions, and we'll get to them. Okay.
Bye everywhere.
All
Bye
right,
to our
take
live
it.
stream.
Oh.
Bye to TikTok. Oh, we almost forgot our 2 thumbs up.
That's right.
Wow, we're just it's 6 minutes past. Like, so we're thirsty.
All right.
All right. Bye,
2 thumbs
guys.
up,
Thank
gang.
you so much. Take care.